So welcome back to the channel, everybody. This movie was actually very good. I was very, very pleased with this because usually these video game to movie adaptations, they've been horrible. I was telling my brother before we saw this movie about the live action that they made back in like the 80s, where the main character who played Mario almost was unalived because the set was so dangerous and a complete hazard. I think he lost one of his thumbs. Like I said, he did almost drown. I was like, what in the world? And then they made less than half of what they put in. So however much $1 million they put in, they made less than half of that back. That's how bad the movie was. So I was a little bit nervous, and this wasn't like a real, live action. This was a, animated, but still, I was a little nervous. But they exceeded my expectation. I'll put that much. So it was funny. I appreciate how when they started this movie, they started showing us the dynamic between Mario and Luigi as brothers. Because in some of these video games that we've played in the past, Mario was not a nice brother, okay? I don't know if y'all remember, but I certainly remember. Now, like I said, it was nice seeing him be a good brother, looking out for his brother. They established a dynamic early on. He was always the one to stand up, be strong and put his foot down. Luigi was a little bit more, reserved, shy, not liking confrontation, which that's just, personalities. People have different personalities. And it was pretty cool, I'm gonna be honest. And they show that part, like I said, when they go back home and their parents, their family. And it was the stereotypical family at dinner thing. And them feeling like, it's gonna be something more than this. Like, this just can't be our life. We out here struggling. They put out a whole doggone commercial, which I thought was pretty cool. Okay. And they're like, well, you know what? We're gonna get our big break one of these days. You just wait, Luigi. We gonna get it one day. Then the next day they get a call to come fix somebody's toilet. And I'm like, look at y'all. Y'all are moving up in the world. That's a nice house. And that dog, y'all, that was hysterical. When they messed up his stuff and that dog looked at them, that expression, I was like, y'all have made an arch nemesis, a mortal enemy for all of eternity. And the way he cornered them he looked at them like, oh, I'm gonna get y'all. Like, as they were going up to the bathroom to fix the bathroom, the way he cornered them in there, and then they trapped him in the shower. And he was like, oh, y'all forgot, I'm a golden retriever. Swimming is what we do. And then they then filled up the doggone shower because they weren't paying attention to the pipes busting. And he was just, swimming up like all happy. And then he got out of there and almost unalived himself. But then they saved him and he kind of was like, okay, y'all are good. But then they messed up the house. Like I said, he was like, don't worry, Luigi, we'll fix it. We'll get a big break. And then they go out to the city after the city had been flooded. I'm like, well, first of all, that's not y'all's job. Isn't that the city's job to fix that? But hey, they were gallant, if you will, and they went out to fix it. Now, help me understand how a random portal to another world just happens to be arbitrarily under the city. I don't understand that. But hey, we had to get this movieing, if you will, some kind of way, right? And when they got sucked into, the Mushroom Kingdom world, it reminded me of that scene from Thor Ragnarok when Hela had confronted them and she was like, kneel before you're a queen. And he was like, I'm not doing that. I was like, yeah, Thor, that's right. He threw the hammer and then she crumbled that thing like crackers. And he was like, oh man. And I was like, oh, y'all better kneel before y'all new queen. And then doggone it, Loki had to be stupid and then gonna call on the Bifrost, talking about some bring us back. That reminded me of that scene. That scene lives rent-free in my head and probably will for the rest of my days because of how funny that was. That reminded me of that. And it happened the exact same way, if y'all noticed. They both got split up. One went to the good side, one went to the bad side. Poor Luigi then got caught up where doggone Bowser and all his little dry bones and Koopa kids, whatever you want. Well, that's what I call them. Doggone, he didn't got caught up over there, and then he's getting basically tortured, if you really want to think about it. And they just did it in a nice way. He over here pulling off his mustache, talking about some, oh, you brothers with that other guy. What is he doing here? What does he want? Whatever. And then meanwhile, Mario's enjoying his life, making Google eyes at Princess Peach, and she done body slammed him because he's like, oh my God. Like, well, first of all, why would you do that? You don't even know this person. Okay, it's like personal space, like, and she is the queen, like, or the princess, rather. And then she was looking at him like, you're a human, but you're not like me. And then that's when, like, we have confirmed that, well, quite clearly Peach is not from Earth, where Mario is from, but we still don't know yet. But some people have theorized that they're going to make a part 2, and we'll find out where she's from, what she is, because he's not quite the same as Mario and Luigi and the people from their Earth, basically. So anyways, he's telling her, well, got separated from the brother, and then Bowser's over here taking over places like Monopoly or whatever, and he's thinking to himself, oh yeah, I'm gonna marry her, and that's what we gonna do. And then doggone it, one of his little minions was like, well, what if she says no? And he just incinerates him, turns him into a dry bone. I thought that was kind of funny how that happened. He was like, that's just too bad. Like, I was like, this is toxic relationships 101, y'all. You can't just be like, I'm gonna make this lady marry me. She's gonna say yes. And there ain't no. Ain't no no's. I ain't taking no for an answer. It's either yes or I'm burning your kingdom down. That is toxic to the max. Meanwhile, she's telling him, okay, well, I'm going over there to confront him. And she was like, if you want to come with me, you got to make it through the stage. And I was like, oh yeah, here we go with the stage builder. And she didn't made it through the stage. And I'm like, my brother was like, well, then what does she need Mario for? And I was like, oh, you so right. She don't need him if she could do all of that. And then he didn't got his behind knocked to and fro, going in and out of pipes, getting eaten by the piranhas and spit out, chewed up. And then finally he makes it through. And then they go to like, come, talk to Donkey Kong, basically. Watching him get beat up by Donkey Kong, I'm not gonna lie, was hilarious. Especially when he charged up that hit. It made me think of all of the Smash Brothers games I have participated in where somebody charged up that hit. Child, that was hilarious. I'm just being honest. He was getting beat up until finally she was like, hit the block, get something. And he was like trying to like hit him. He didn't shrunk himself. I was like, he better hope he don't get that poison mushroom. And then finally he got that the one with the, I forgot what it was. He was like jumping all around the place, and I was like, finally he got one that he can use to take him down. And he had all the jokes, and it almost sounded like that was the same actor, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, so once they finally got that established, and Donkey Kong was not the nicest person. Okay, I don't know, the earlier games, that came out like back in like the 90s was a little bit before my time because I was born in the 90s, but he was not the nicest. I don't know how he treated Mario before. Well, he did kidnap Princess Peach, I think, or was it Daisy? One of them. But he was not the nicest, and I didn't like that. I was like, now, play nice now. But anyways, them talking and trying like convince him to help them basically go against Bowser. And then when they got that done, doggone it, and whenever they all got in their own little like carts, and I'm like, okay, well here goes the Mario Kart portion of the movie, and all those different carts. I thought that was pretty cool. I'm not gonna sit here and lie. And then they like go to basically poor Luigi, who's been put in a cage. I was like, that's messed up. And he's in the castle, doggone it, hovering over some lava, and that doggone Lumina, because I played Super Mario Galaxy. The little Lumina was so cute, and he was like, oh, just waiting for our sweet release. He was so cute. And the Luminas were supposed to be these little positive creatures, or at least that's what I interpreted them as. But he was so negative in such a positive voiced way. It was hilarious. And then the little penguins that he confronted first, they were like, oh God, shut up. Make him shut up. That was hilarious to me. I had tears in my eyes. And Luigi is just like sitting there like, while Mario is out here making Google eyes at Peach, getting beat up by Donkey Kong and making friendships, well, semi-friendships, riding around on the Mario Kart stages from all of our childhood. Poor Luigi is in a hot cage hanging over some lava. That Mario Kart, like I said, that Mario Kart portion was the dopest. And we all knew they had to involve the doggone Rainbow Bridge. It wouldn't have been complete without the Rainbow Bridge. And I was like, well, here we go. It's gonna have some loop-de-loops, some crazy mess. They were over here throwing shells and bananas. I was like, come on with it. The big giant, cart that they had. And then they did all of that for her to be the last one to get back there. And then there was that one, little mushroom people, whatever, who was like, I'm gonna stick in with you until like the very bitter end. And she was trying to like, I guess, evacuate all her people out. And it was hilarious, all of like the little council of mushroom people. And they were like, we gotta evacuate the city. And he was like, nah, I'm staying. And doggone it, he got captured and thrown in with Luigi. And then Bowser comes up there, like I said, toxic as ever, talking about either you're gonna be with me. He gonna come there with some flowers talking about be with me. She was like, no. And he was like, all right then, I'm gonna take out your little mushrooms. I was like, who does that? Who is that toxic? You're awful. She was like, fine, just leave them alone. You know, like the stereotypical good leader. They're sacrificing herself to protect everybody else, only for him to not actually even really keep his word. Then got her all dressed up in the wedding gown and everything. And then whenever they were fighting him and they went from, you know, that world back to their world, that was the coolest. I'm just saying. And I was like, now there was just a little portal under the city, but y'all didn't just broke up and it didn't messed up everything in the downtown area. And I'm just like, come on now, y'all literally just took their universe and slapped it with yours. And the part where they finally got that super mushroom, I mean the superstar that made them, you know, child, they should have played that entire theme the whole time. And it was like the both of them instead of just Mario, and watching all of them fight together, you know, Mario, Luigi, Donkey Kong, and Peach. That was pretty cool because, you know, teamwork makes the dream work. He was actually getting beat up though. Like, you know, when it was in their universe, he was getting beat up. Of course, he should have been alive multiple times with some of them hits that he got. When the Donkey Kong fight should have took him to the upper room, but it was a different universe, you know, plot armor, if you will. But in this universe, basically home, where he is human, he had all kinds of black eyes and bruises, and I was like, oh, they're upping the stakes here. And then, doggone it, when, like I said, they got that superstar, and they were shining, and they stood next to each other, and then they were like double teaming him. That was like one of the dopest parts of the movie, them double teaming him, beating Bowser's behind, and kicking him back to the Mushroom Kingdom, or his corner of the Mushroom Kingdom. And basically them deciding to go back there and, you know, use the pipes or whatever. And I was like, this was really, really good. Like, I feel like a lot of people, they kind of threw some shade at Chris Pratt for being the one to voice Mario. But I think he did a phenomenal job, quite frankly. And I am looking forward to movie number two, because this one was good. I loved all the Easter eggs. I liked all the references. Everything they had, they literally put everything in there. I don't think that there was anything that they left out, or at least I don't think, of course, except for, what's her name? Princess Daisy. Yeah, that was the only person that they left out. But I'm pretty sure they'll, like I said, in the part 2, they'll have her in there. And they'll probably put her with, I'm assuming, Luigi. And some people have been theorizing that maybe even Rosalina might be in one of those, if they have like a third one. I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, they really blew my expectations out of the water. So I'm really happy about that. But anyways, this one was kind of short and quick. I just kind of skimmed over some things that I really liked and appreciated. But anyways, y'all let me know what y'all think and how y'all feel down in the comments below.